Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. I'm here with Sean from Catalyst Training Systems. How are you, Sean?
I'm good. How are you?
I am great. So we're going to be answering some questions. And today I have three questions that are mine to find out for a while now. So I'm hoping you can help me with that. And while you're helping me, we could help some other people too, because I think a lot of people have similar questions coming up.
Okay.
To get started, Sean?
Yep.
All right. Okay. So the first question is, there's a lot of talk about calorie intake and like how many calories should we be intaking if we're maintaining our weight, losing weight, so on and so forth. And I've been turning to like different apps to kind of figure out what it is, but I want to find out from you, how do I determine how many calories I should be taking in
Okay. So
per
if
day?
per day, and
Mm-hmm.
what's the goal? Is it to maintain your weight, to lose weight, to gain weight?
A little bit of weight. So I put on quite a bit of weight over the last couple of years because I just, just lack of, what's the word? Lack of willpower. And I also went through a hard time in my life that kind of made me put on a lot of weight. So I ended up putting on 20 pounds
Mhm.
over 2 years. And recently I lost 10 pounds, and I'm looking to lose another 10 pounds.
Okay.
So to lose a little bit of weight, but not too much.
Okay. So the best way for people, for you, me, anyone, to figure out how many calories they should be eating is to first start out by tracking your calories
Mm-hmm.
for a period of a week. So
Okay.
a lot of people use like calorie calculators or apps and things, but the truth is all these calculators are going off equations. They don't actually know um, like what your daily intake is,
Mm-hmm.
right? So they're using educated guesses based on like your height, your body weight, what you think your activity level is, how many times you train per week, and yes, that's like it'll get you a good uh, percentage of the weight, but the most accurate thing is for you to track without changing anything about your diet. Like 7 days, you're going to track exactly what you eat. If you go out and eat McDonald's, if you go out to have donuts, like every Sunday, you're going to track that, right? Like
Okay.
that's the most realistic kind of picture of how many calories your body is intaking. And then once you get that data, that is really where your starting point is. So let's say,
Oh, okay. All right.
yeah. So let's say we find out that on average you're consuming over the whole week you consume 1,800 calories a day. Once you average everything out,
Okay.
um,
Okay.
from there you're going to remove some calories, and that would be your starting point for losing weight.
Okay. Well, that is really, really good then, because I never saw it in that kind of way. I think a lot of people, I use an app,
Mm-hmm.
and it kind of tells, it tracks my calories, and it gives me a recommended amount of calories of what I should be intaking. But I never thought about it not changing anything at all and just tracking every single thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Hmm.
because I don't know, a
That's
lot
a
of
good
people
one.
use the apps, and the apps are not horrible. It's a way for you to get a starting point, I guess. But let's say, for example, using the previous example, we find out that you're eating 1,800 calories. You can probably lose weight by just dropping down to 1,600 calories. Whereas if you used an app, maybe the app would tell you that you have to eat 1,300 calories, right? You're going to
Hmm.
lose weight on both calorie levels,
Yeah.
but 1,300 calories is way more drastic, and it probably isn't the best for your long-term success. You're going to get really hungry really fast, and then once you plateau your weight loss, you have to remove more calories, and there's not much to remove once you're down there in that 1,200, 1,300 range. So um,
Okay.
yeah, the targets that they give you can be too drastic. Um, so it's better to go
Okay.
off what you're actually eating.
Okay, that's a good point. That's actually a really good point, because if you already go so low and then your weight ends up plateauing, happened to me, because I was using an app and I was losing a lot of weight. So the what they suggested for me was like 1450,
Okay.
my height and my weight, and I've plateaued. So the first little while I lost 10 pounds really quickly, and then since then I haven't really made much progress.
Yeah. I think a lot of people think once the calorie counter gives you the target, that's it. Like, this is what I'm going to stick with, and I'm going to keep losing weight. But then once you stop, which it will stop, as you know, um,
Mm.
because your body adapts to it, where you're going to go. You always have to leave somewhere to go. In
Mm-hmm.
fat loss, fat loss is like a chess game. You always have to have another move, and you got to save as many moves as possible
Oh,
in the long run.
that's really smart. I actually never thought about it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's good. I'm learning a lot.
Yeah.
Now, what happens now? Like, what do I like? Do I remove more calories? Do I increase my activity level? What do I do from here?
Mm-hmm. You can do either or a combination of both. Um, for my clients, it depends on how they respond. Some people respond better to adding more training, and some people respond better to removing food. Some people are really
Okay.
adverse to removing food. So they'd much rather do an hour of extra cardio than remove like 100 calories from their day. And in that case,
Wow.
that's the route that we go, right? Because
Okay.
like the more that you can stay in the game mentally, the longer you're going to be doing it. So it really depends on the person, but you can do
Okay.
either or a combination of both. The only
Okay.
thing I would say is if you're at the extremes already, like if you're already, your calories are already super low,
Mm-hmm.
more calories is probably not the best thing for you. And if you're
Okay.
already training 5, 6, 7 times a week, adding more activity might not be the best for you. Maybe removing food is like is the best bet. I try and alternate them. So I'll remove
Okay.
someone plateaus, I'll remove some food. They plateau again. Instead of removing more food, I'll try and add a little bit of activity, and I'll go back and forth in between those.
Okay. All right. Okay. I think yes. As far as like the calorie intake for me, I think I'm pretty low as it is,
Mm-hmm.
and okay. And I don't train that much.
Mm-hmm.
Increase a
Maybe.
little bit more activity for me. What's
Yeah.
that? Let me see. Okay. All right. Thank you, Sean. That is actually really helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the next question is a controversial one, because a couple of years ago, I saw this little kid who was a bodybuilder.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember. He was probably like around 10 years old, and he had all these muscles. Now, so my question is like, is it safe for children to start lifting weights?
Yes. Yes, it is if they're doing it correctly.
Oh,
So
okay.
I think the fear comes from like children shouldn't be lifting weights. They're going to stunt their growth. This was like a big thing back in the day. It's like a main concern for people. Um, if kids lift weights correctly, it's no different than like your kid putting a backpack on and going to school and carrying heavy books. That's weights. It may not be a dumbbell, but you're still subjecting their body to external loads, right? Your body doesn't really know whether it's a dumbbell or barbell or a machine or anything. It just knows that there's load being placed on it. So a backpack is no different than a dumbbell, technically, right? In terms of the
Okay.
load, right? So it's can can that is that kid being taught the proper way to do it? Then like you don't have much to worry about in terms of like stunting growth or anything like that. Like I've trained kids as young as 9 or 10.
Okay.
Maybe they don't have to do like the crazy, really, really heavy lifting that like adults do, but like lighter loads and just getting repetitions in with light things that may be fun for them, like pushing things, just picking up like heavier balls at the gym, like we call them medicine balls, like weighted balls, like 8 pounds, 10 pounds, 15 pounds.
Okay.
And just repeating those efforts will help them get stronger, build a little bit of muscle, and it really does separate them in terms of like athletic ability from the rest of their peers who are maybe just sitting on the couch and not as active.
Okay, so make it more fun for them, and it's actually kind of cool what you said about the backpack, because we
Mm-hmm.
have this myth. Because when I was little, my parents used to say that, oh, you can't lift heavy weights. Also, and there's another thing. It's kind of
Yeah.
fun. My dad is very short.
Okay.
My dad's about 5'1", 5'2".
Mm-hmm.
And he said the reason why he's so short is because he used to lift weights when he was a child.
Mm.
That was a myth I've always had when I was a kid. And I always wanted to work out with my dad, but I didn't. He's like, it's going to stunt your growth. And then I'm tall. I'm
Yeah.
5'7". So I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
maybe that's why. Okay. I wonder where that myth came from in the first place. It's like stunting your growth if you lift some weight.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. People just put things together, I guess, like weight pushing down and like kids not growing. I don't know. People just throw things together and it becomes like an ongoing tradition that,
I know. It's so funny. It's like if you eat too many potatoes, then you don't grow.
yeah.
Or if you drink milk, you grow. Well, maybe there's something to it.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so the last one, this has been going on for quite some time. So for ladies, a lot of ladies like to do cardio.
Yeah.
I think things are shifting. There are more and more women who are lifting weights. Like women have been staying away from weights, and the question is like, which one's better? Like, is it cardio better, or is it weightlifting is better, or is it a combination of both?
Mm-hmm. Is this for like weight loss? I
Oh, well,
guess like
that's a good question. In general, in general,
okay. I would
I know it's
say
a really overall question. Yeah.
mhm. I would say in general, if you can do both, both is the best option.
Okay.
If you were to pick one and you only had to pick one, it's weights. You would pick weights.
Okay. Okay. So, okay. All right. Tell me more. Tell me more. Why?
Okay, so in terms of like they're both activity, they both burn calories, um, but weights have the added benefit of making you stronger, adding muscle to your body,
Hmm.
increasing your metabolism over the long term by adding muscle.
Okay.
You do get some sort of cardiovascular benefit depending on how you structure your programming. And then strength. Strength is like the foundational piece to most things. If you want to get faster, you should get stronger. If you
Hmm.
want to gain more muscle, you should get stronger. If you want to progress your fat loss training, eventually you're going to have to get stronger in order to do more work, right? So strength is like kind of the base of every quality, but it doesn't get trained during cardio, right?
Hmm.
Um, if you consider cardio like running long distances, if your goal is to run like a faster 10-kilometer time, you can train with weights and improve that because the stronger you are, the less energy you're going to need to expend with every step, right? The
Okay.
farther you can propel yourself with every step. So in that way, you can train that portion of it. Whereas if you're just doing running, yes, you'll be better at running, but you'll also not gain any muscle. Your
Hmm.
metabolism won't get that much faster. You won't get all the benefits that you will from lifting weights and subjecting yourself to external loads. Like there are hormonal changes that happen as well because of the weights, depending on how heavy you lift, how many reps you do. But in terms of running and cardio, you don't get that much of the benefit, as well as like um, there's a lot of talk now about like high intensity interval training, and when you do it, you burn calories for 36 hours after your workouts and stuff like that. That benefit doesn't really happen after cardio. So,
Mm.
so if you take a weight training session, a cardio session, and you burn, like you work out for the same amount of time, you're going to get that afterburn effect or your rise in metabolism from the weights. But once you stop the cardio, that's it. It's pretty much done there. And you get no further benefit from a raised metabolism after that. So if you're going to pick one, you're going to pick weights for the long term and for multiple benefits.
Okay. So what's this a hormonal change that you get from lifting weights? I'm really curious.
Mm-hmm. Well, it depends what you do with your weights, but certain hormones, so there's testosterone, growth hormone, insulin growth factors, like a lot of different beneficial hormones that will rise as a response to training.
Okay.
So after your training, certain things will come up and then they'll eventually come back down. But weight training causes a spike in these hormones, and it's due to the loading and like the requirement of your body to like use your nervous system in a different way. But you don't really get that from cardio. Like it's not enough of a stress to your body in order to stimulate those hormones in that way.
Okay. A lot of body pump classes at the gym,
Mm-hmm.
and I found myself at certain points feeling a little bit bored from it. Why do you think that is? Is it because it's too much repetition, or I wasn't lifting heavy enough? Because you mentioned stress, right? I have to put stress on your body. Because
Yeah.
I started off lifting like 2.5 pounds because I wanted, I did not want to stress myself out too much. And then I slowly kind of increased the weight, but I never really increased it enough. I was to the point that I was able to look around and see what everybody was doing and still have like conversations in my head whilst lifting weights. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering, should I increase my weight, or maybe it wasn't the right class for me? What was that all about?
Yeah. You should always try and increase the weight, I would say. The
Mm-hmm.
thing with in the body pump classes, I guess there's not much room to increase the weight, right? Like the weights there, not like there's not a ton of weight that you guys are using in the classes.
Yeah, you can. I mean, I could have increased more. Like I wasn't, you know,
Mhm.
doing anything about it. And also, another reason why they want us to keep the weights low, because it's high reps.
Yeah.
I don't know if that has something to do with it. You tell me.
Mm-hmm. I'd say in most boot camp scenarios like that, most boot camps are high reps, like 15, 20 plus reps in a certain time frame that they give you, if it's 30 seconds, 60 seconds,
Mm.
whatever it may be. Um, the more reps that you do, the less weight you can use, right? Like
Yes.
that's just how it works,
Mm-hmm.
right? But the downside of that is the only way that you can progress is either you're going to do more reps in that time frame, or like there's no way for you to add weight, right? Like it's in 60 seconds, there's only so much weight that you can
Yes.
add to
Yes.
do repetitions.
Yes.
Um, so even though, like, let's say it's a 60-second time frame and you add 2 reps to your previous time, it is a progression, but it's not that much of a progression from what you were doing previously.
Mm-hmm.
Like your body doesn't read it as like such a large change, right? It's not significant enough,
Okay.
right? So a lot of people in the boot camps are used to doing like more reps, more reps, more reps, and eventually it all becomes the same. Like you said, you got bored.
Mm-hmm.
Probably you're doing like the same type of exercises, the same amount of reps, same time frame over and over and over again. Yes, you get tired, but your body's not getting a stimulus anymore.
Mm-hmm.
The only way that you're going to change that is if, let's say, they change the time frame from 60 seconds to 15 seconds or 20 seconds. Now you can up the intensity a lot because it's only 20 seconds. now you can throw on a bunch more weight because
Okay.
you don't have to endure another an entire 60 seconds.
Okay.
So what we do in our boot camps is we like to vary the times as well, but we always tell people try and use heavier weights than you have done previously.
Mm-hmm.
So like even if in 60 seconds, last week you got 20 reps, this week you increase the weight, but you only get, I don't know, you only get 10 reps. That's fine. You can build yourself back up to 20 reps. But if you try and keep the weight the same and just try and add more reps, you're going to hit a ceiling and your body's not actually getting much more stimulus.
Okay, good point.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you suggest? Like people like me should hire a personal trainer to kind of keep the progress going, because group classes, I like group classes because I feel like there's accountability there. I have to show up at a certain time. But the problem with group classes is that I don't really have the one-on-one attention, and I might not be doing things exactly correctly for what I need.
Mm-hmm. Okay. If accountability is something that you really need, then yes, hiring a coach would be kind of the best way.
Okay.
If accountability is not something that you're worried about and you just want kind of like the best bang for your buck in terms of training, it would be better if you got a training program either designed by a coach or you found one online. Like there are tons of good training programs out there now that you can find online,
Okay.
with built-in progression for you to lift to get stronger instead of I guess separating getting really tired and training to get better. That's like a distinction that people need to make, I think.
Okay, that's interesting. I don't think I understand it fully. I always assume like getting really tired, it means that things are working.
Yeah. Yeah, most people do.
Okay, so tell me. So this is all stuff that I don't know. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so getting really tired doesn't necessarily mean that you're actually like training to get better. Like you can train to get better and get really tired,
Okay.
and like that happens a lot. But the other way around is not. It's not a guarantee, right? So a lot of boot camps, group classes, and stuff. A lot of coaches, their job in their mind, their job is to destroy you, right? So like you come in, you could be lying on a pool, like in a pool of sweat at the end of the workout, because most people think like, oh, that was a great workout.
Yeah, you're like, I feel completely
Really?
destroyed. It's
Yeah, exactly, right? Like, and in the beginning, yes, that works, right? If you're just starting out,
yeah.
that's a crazy stimulus to your body, and yes, it will work for a while. But after that, it like getting your heart rate up doesn't necessarily mean that you're getting stronger. Doesn't necessarily mean that you're building any muscle. It's not. It's not. It's not a guarantee. So I think people have to learn to separate what's like training and what's just exercise. Training
Okay.
is achieving a goal and you're progressing in a way that your body is going to respond to. It's like based on physiology. But on the other hand, like going into class and doing burpees for an hour, it's going to make you super, super tired and you'll probably throw up. But did you get better at anything? Probably not. Right? Like you didn't build any muscle. And the only way to progress that is, I guess, to do more burpees. But yeah.
Wow, that's that's an eye opener for a lot of people, because I think that's a misconception that because people love that boot camp environment and then they feel destroyed and they leave like, I feel great, and then you plateau for a bit.
Yeah.
And then you just stop going because it's a terrible experience. Like, who wants to feel like they're going to throw up all the time and you have no results? Okay, well, that's good. That's good, Sean.
Yeah.
It's already been half an hour. Oh my gosh.
Oh, wow.
So quickly. So quickly. Is there anything else you would like to say before we go?
I think that's it. I think taking that last point and just separating, like getting really tired and actually training. If you actually have a goal, then it would serve you best to get a training program or get a coach or something like that, and focus on progressing and getting results, and separate that from going in, killing yourself, and getting a really good workout, because that doesn't necessarily mean that you're getting to your goal. And like you said, if like people will get frustrated after a while because like I'm killing myself and I'm not getting results, well, it's not the same thing, right? Like you don't always have to kill yourself to get results.
That's actually pretty awesome, because that is the same in the business world too, in entrepreneurship. There are a lot of people, it's like, I'm working 16 hours a day and
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm not making any progression. I don't know what's going on. I'm tired all the time. And
Mm-hmm.
I always say to them, well, are you focused on the right things? Are you doing the right things? Putting in it's good. Hard work is part of it, but are you doing the right things? And it's the same for working out too.
Yeah. Is
Yeah.
that effort directed where it's supposed to be, or are you just like doing random stuff?
Yeah, I like it. I like it, Sean. You have really helped me with a lot of myths today. I'm
Oh,
enjoying
good.
it. Okay, I got some work to do. I got to do some other stuff now. All right, Sean. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you guys.